Hey everyone, and welcome back to News with Sonic, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, and that is regarding Sony and their failed attempts to even have any plans for the Spider-Verse movies. And I'm not talking about Into or Across the Spider-Verse; those are success movies on their own. I'm talking about like Madam Web and of course Kraven the Hunter, Morbius, and stuff like that, because Sony's quite frantic at this time, and it seems like they have a bit of a feud with Marvel Studios, but from what I'm hearing, they've come to a sort of agreement, which I've also talked about in my last few videos, where Sony actually wanted to make Spider-Man 4 more of a multiverse movie, when we already got that in Spider-Man No Way Home, and it was a success thanks to the inclusion of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Now, Sony wants to do it again, but I think Kevin Feige is like really fighting back with this, and he wants to make it more of a personal film, like a grounded street level kind of movie. And that's exactly what we need in a Spidey MCU movie at this time. When you look back to the original Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi ones, and you look to the Andrew Garfield movies, those are very grounded level types of Spider-Man films. And we missed that. We don't need this grander, like larger than life Spider-Man movie when we can get that with Spider-Man in the Avengers films. But when it comes to his solo movies, let it be more personal. Let it be more grounded, street level. Let him fight street level villains like Kingpin. If anything, now might be the right time to have Daredevil partner up with Spider-Man to take down the Kingpin. And that should happen right after the Daredevil series has ended on the MCU. So that's just me. And we're going to go over this article because it's quite hilarious and it's also a little sad at the same time. And I'll get into the details. So as you probably know already, Dakota Johnson did star in the Madam Web movie that came out very recently and failed miserably in the box office because it's just not a good movie. I haven't seen it, but my God, does that movie look cheap and it looks like a pedazo de mierda. So we're going to go over that in just a sec. Before I do that, be sure you're subscribed. Check out my social media down in the description box below. Join my Discord and all that good jazz, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So Dakota Johnson's probably done playing Madam Web, and I don't make any sense in that world. That's what she said. So speaking with Bustle, Johnson commented on a negative review of Madam Web, which was released in the United States theaters on February 14th, 2024, which, you know, what a great time to go to the movies to go see Madam Web for Valentine's. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised that this has gone down the way it has, she said. She continued, "It's so hard to get movies made, and these big movies that get made, it's even starting to happen with little ones, which is really freaking me out. Decisions are being made by committees, and art does not do well when it's made by committee. Films are made by a filmmaker and a team of artists around them. You cannot make art based on the numbers and algorithms. My feeling has been for a long time that audiences are extremely smart, and executives have started to believe that they're not. Audiences will always be able to sniff out the bullshit. Even if films start to be made with AI, humans aren't going to effing want to see those." And that's right. And I feel like executives, producers out there really do treat the audience, like myself and everybody else that watches their movies, like complete morons. They know what they want. The audiences are the fans, and they're fans for a good reason, because A, they have history with watching like older cartoons, reading comic books like I do. I have comic books. I have a collection of them right there in my closet, and so on and so forth. So if anything, these executives, these producers should be asking the audience about the kinds of stories that they want to see on the films and adapted properly with respect. But it was definitely an experience for me to make that movie. I had never done anything like it before. I probably will never do anything like it again because I don't want to make sense in that world. And I know that now, but sometimes in this industry, you sign on to do something and it's one thing, and then as you're making it, it becomes a completely different thing. And you're like, wait, what? But it was a real learning experience, and of course it's not nice to be part of something that's ripped to shreds, but I can't say that I don't understand. Now, I'm going to give credit where credit is 100% due to Dakota Johnson. First off, I want to acknowledge the fact that Dakota Johnson is acknowledging that she was in a very shitty movie. Most actresses and actors these days would completely put the blame on the audience for the movie failing or being ripped to shreds like she claimed to be. I have to acknowledge that kind of accountability. You know, is the movie's not bad because it's her fault. The movie's horrible because of these executives that she's talking about. And I completely believe her. You know, she actually thought that she was actually going to be a part of the Marvel Studios, the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. She even spoke with Elizabeth Olsen about this. And Elizabeth Olsen talked about how like, oh yeah, Marvel treats you really well. They're really good to their actors and whatnot. It also shows how out of touch some of these actors are when they join to sign on. But I can understand from their point of view when like Sony's telling them something different, and it was different at the time that she got signed on. And then to realize that the project is completely not what it seemed or not what she thought it would be, it must be a horrible feeling. It's like you get a job and you're told from day one, at least from the interview or when you get the job, that you're expecting this and this and this, and we're going to give you this and this and this, all these benefits, and these expectations will be this and this and that. After a while, those expectations were never met and you are a disappointed employee. So that's exactly what happened here. And I got to acknowledge Dakota Johnson here for a bit here, because she's the real one. She's not blaming the audience whatsoever. She completely understands why the movie fails, and that's how she gets her credibility, because she knows that it's a bust. This movie sucks. Like, more respect to her because of that. The way Sony's handling this, like how frantic and how hyper and excited that they get due to the success of, like, let's say Spider-Man No Way Home, they think that they're in the good graces. They think they know that what they're gonna be doing moving forward, when really they don't. They don't have a good grip on the Spider-Man franchise. But I gotta say, it was a blessing in disguise that Madam Web did happen, and I'll tell you why. Because of its failure, that's gonna lead Sony to focus solely on Spider-Man again moving forward and not focusing on anything else. Sony can do well by just making Spider-Man movies in the MCU because they still profit off of that. They can still do well by making good Spider-Man movies in partnership with Marvel Studios, and Sony will profit off of those movies more than Marvel Studios will. And they can continue building upon that success by getting all those earnings, all the profits, well, not all of them, but I think they get like 75 and then Marvel Studios gets 25%. They can still continue on that path. They don't need to make these stupid spin-off movies anymore. Technically, by them making a Spider-Man movies with Marvel Studios, they're not breaking their contract. They got to make a Spider-Man movie like every 2 years or so, but they're only doing this because Marvel Studios won't make a Spider-Man movie every 2 years or so. So it's like, in a way, forcing Marvel Studios' hand to make these movies. And Kevin Feige, lately, Marvel Studios hasn't been really inspiring. They haven't been making quality movies, but they're reshaping everything and they're reworking everything. And I have a bit of faith in Kevin Feige when it comes to Spider-Man, because I feel like he would know how to handle it a little bit better. And I'm glad that he's fighting back with Sony. And I'm glad this little feud is happening. I don't think Sony's going to take away Spider-Man from Marvel Studios anytime soon. I don't want to see this franchise fail. And this will be the first time we get a Spider-Man 4, because the last few attempts, the Sam Raimi one, despite the fact that Spider-Man 3 was technically a financial success, it didn't do well with critics. And that's why we never got a Spider-Man 4 back in the day. And the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, well, you know what that's all about. That one failed as well. But anyway, guys, I just want to get your input. What are your thoughts about this? Comment down below, if anything. And are you surprised or shocked at all that Madam Web failed? I certainly am not. And I believe that Kraven the Hunter is going to be the next blunder that Sony delivers to us, because hands down, 100% being honest with you, Spider-Man is the only property that they have that's like really successful. And it's the only thing that's bringing in the dough for them. Aside from that, they got really nothing else. I mean, they own Crunchyroll, they own The Boys, which is really successful on Amazon, and some other series on Netflix and whatnot. That's it. But they can't rely on that because they know how much money Spider-Man brings in. It's huge. Spider-Man's huge. Anyway, comment down below again with your thoughts and questions, concerns, whatnot, and your theories, and whatever you want to say. Comment down below. It's all there. It's open. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, click on the bell notifications so you don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.